Welcome to the new video about 7 Nights Rebirth, and today I wanted to share my team composition which actually carried me through Infinite Tower after floor 100. It was tough, not gonna lie. The higher stages they're going to be, the more complicated, the more difficult they are. Well, quite honestly, after floor 100 I was able to deal with everything with pretty much single one team. Up to floor 130 I believe, and this was the physical one, with Teo, with Kagura, and I also used Yoshin as an additional CC character to help me to go through these. First stages, like after 100, they're not that difficult. Let's say you just need to maybe adjust certain strategies based on the characters that you are going to see there, but after that, when you are reaching kinda higher stages like floor 120 for example, here it's a little bit problematic already and you're relying kind of a lot on RNG aspect. Here I was struggling as well. I was able to deal with it thanks to CC characters which were able to control the battlefield, and damage output from Tao was enough. But after that, when we're getting higher, quite honestly, it's something. Like the tanky compositions, as you can see, death characters which are really annoying, a lot of bleeding, a lot of crit damage, again death, stuns and so on and so forth. Full compositions of CC characters, and floor 130 where we actually able to get ourselves the legendary character, not legendary plus but just legendary. Oh my god. This floor, I believe in total I had to spend like a couple hours to actually deal with it, and the whole issue here is that they are freaking tanky. I mean, literally, I don't have enough damage from Tao, so I decided that maybe I'm going to use 2 DPS units. Not the case, they're dying too fast because they're not just tanky, I mean opponents, they're also dealing a lot of damage, and obviously they're applying a lot of effects, each one of them. This one paralysis, this one freeze, this one stun and burn, this one shock effect, this one death stacks, and sometimes he's just getting them straight up in a row one after another. As you can see, they have quite a lot of HP, so yeah, that was an issue. I was trying with 2 CC characters, not enough damage, lacking damage. I was trying to improve damage and increase healing, it didn't work. Still, I was lacking with damage, and at the end they were overcoming me with just all their CC abilities, and my healers, they weren't able to act at all whatsoever, so there was no real reason to use them. All the buffs that they're providing to my main DPS, which is Teo, again, no real reason, because again we had 3 stages. If it's been like only 1 stage, for example, maybe that would have been doable, but in fact when you're going from one to another, you don't have enough time to actually heal your team, to prepare everyone, to remove your cooldowns and so on and so forth. I found only one team which actually carried me through this, and that's one team which we're going to talk specifically here. And yes, maybe you already have some ideas about it. It's going to be the Mage team, basically, literally the only one team which is able to carry here. And you might think that the composition is kind of weird because I'm using Lucy, I'm using Yui, Mercurl, we have him here, he's T0, and he T0, Vanessa T1, RNG, but it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, when we're talking about floor 130, it was a little bit about luck as well in terms of CC procs, but overall this team is able to kinda carry you, really. You just need to work probably on certain gears and upgrading for some character skills. This is going to be a huge improvement And obviously, when we're talking about higher stages, I have a feeling that it's really that important again to work on dupes on certain characters, because you need to deal more damage, you need to be more tanky, you need to survive longer, and so on and so forth. So again, here's the topic about dupes, and yeah, they matter. For example, when we're talking about Mercurl, for him it's not really that important. He's just great. That's the case. You need to work on his survivability a little bit, and I'm actually lacking here, quite honestly, because I was focusing a lot on his attack due to the fact that, for example, from his magic reflux, he is going to deal certain amount of damage based off his attack, which is not going to be higher than 90%, which means you want to have kind of high numbers in terms of attack to deal more damage with this reflux, but it's not always reasonable. And again, so in my case, I'm using one weapon with effect hit rate, I'm using another with attack, which is probably again not that optimal. Maybe I shouldn't really care that much about effect hit rate, but I thought that this is kind of an important one aspect still, because we really want to as well use his second skill, which is providing stun, and overall it has 45% chance. With the gears we have additionally 10%, so it's 55%, and opponents, they might have like effect resistance or something like that, and in this case effect hit rate is going to help to neglect this parameter like effect resistance. Yeah, we wanna to use his skills properly, and we want to deal more damage, but again, balancing this stuff like his block rate is also important. That's why I believe, for example, one piece of gear I need to switch a little bit and provide not attack percentage but block rate, for example, and this is going to be like two pieces with attack percentage, one with effect hit rate, one with block rate. At least in this case he will be able to kind of live a bit better and longer. Velika is really useful and helpful here because she's going to reduce cooldowns, which are really long in terms of Yunhee, and for her I was working purely on her survivability, as you can see, all gears with defense percentage and block rate. Everything just to improve her defense, improve her survivability, tankiness, for her being able just to live long enough. Yeah, she's able to deal from her skills quite a good amount of damage, but it's not really that important when we have Mercurl. She has like all AoE attacks, which are going to trigger the reflux effect, which is going to be really nice no matter what kind of damage parameters you have on her. Yunhee, again, our main DPS here. For her, ideally, you wanna upgrade her skills, you wanna bring her to T2 because she's going to target 2 units with her basic attacks, which is going to be kinda a good improvement overall, and the damage output is going to be crazy. It's also like based off max HP, which really helps, and sometimes her damage output is just insane when you're using proper team composition. She's also increasing the magic attack. She's able to nullify all damage for at least 3 hits, which is a nice addition. I was using her with assassin set, as you can see. The stats are presented here: crit rate, crit damage, all attack percentage. Why we have Lucy here? Well, obviously opponents, they're going to provide CC effects, which are really freaking annoying, and she's able to remove them, so she's really helpful here. And she's going to boost defense as well, improve survivability, she's able to heal, which is helpful if she's not stunned or something like that, because sometimes this is a disaster. I had a feeling that they're targeting her specifically and only, and you as well, just two only my healers in this team, and they weren't able to act at all whatsoever. But yeah, for her, the gears, the Guardian set with defense, and block rate additionally. because from defense she's basically going to heal the teammates and is going to be way better performance rather than anything else. A little bit of survivability, so yeah, one piece with the block rate. Yui, she's here due to the fact that we have an opponent which is going to also apply burn stacks. She's able to prevent this and she's able to heal. She's not the best option in terms of, let's say, supportive unit for the mage composition, and for example for free-to-play team, let's say rare character, Ariel is going to be a better option because she's going to boost at least magical damage, and I believe this is going to be from her passive, and she's able to decrease defense from her skill. But important part about Yui is that she's able to again heal kinda decent, and she's able to revive, which is important. So we have like 3 slots which are must here. It's Mercurl, it's Velika, and it's Yunhee. And again, Velika is reducing cooldowns by a lot, which is really helpful because cooldowns from Yunhee, they're freaking long. Insane. Mercurl, reflux, stuns, really important. This is like the core aspect of this team. You just for revivals purely and some healing. If you're understanding that it's not really that important, you can think about some alternatives and put here, for example, Lina, if you have her at T2, because she's going to boost the crit damage and she will be able to heal. Again, instead of Lucy, there are other options as well, but here the main purpose was about removing debuffs and also providing some healing effects, which I consider kind of important. If you understand that one healer for the whole team is enough, in this case you wanna focus and boost the performance and the damage output from your main DPS here. Again, in our case it's Yunhee. Pumpkin for magical damage, and yeah, that's the team which really carried me. Overall, the strategy which I was following, I believe I'm going to just show you. We're going to jump into the battle. So the first stages is like you want to clear them just as fast as you can, starting with Yunhee, just trying to clear everything, yeah, pretty much quick. Again, Velika, she's able to deal some damage, so whenever you need control, for example, you can add this control with Mercurl and his stun skill, and also this skill is going to provide additional defense to mage composition. And again, because Velika, she has all skills with AoE, so it's going to trigger the reflux effect kinda a lot. So she's really beneficial in here in this composition. You see the numbers, they're just crazy. For Mercurl, it's also everything about AoE. And it's going from one target to another, which is insane. Because of Velika cooldowns from Yunhee already gone, we're using the magic reflux from Mercurl again. Huge amount of stacks. The healing doesn't matter that much. Yeah, obviously it's not like floor showcase of the floor 130, but it really took me kinda a lot of time. I skipped the turn. My bad. And when we're talking about round floors like 130, 140, so on and so forth, they're going to be more difficult. But at least right now I have a feeling that actually the mage composition is the way to go, because unfortunately Tao isn't able to provide that much of a damage, at least for me, at least at T3, and I believe I need to bring him to like T6 and work really precisely on his gears and improve his crit damage, because at T6 he's going to crit always, and you need to focus just on his crit damage output, damage, and so on and so forth, just to be able to deal with these numbers. Yeah, with that being said, hope this video is going to be helpful for you and you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.